Okay, so basically these are kind of like impossible games, right? And usually with these games, the best thing to do is like to look at how we could have been more fed and how we translated our lead, right? So basically, I looked through the VODs. There's a couple of VODs you sent me that are pretty horrible games, and the best way is to like, sorry, the most important things, like the themes of the games, were like that you were way too selfless early, like, and you did panic plays that seemed good because you guys got an assist or whatever, but overall they hurt your team more than it helped because it was like, the overall gold lead like was still negative because you were there rather than somewhere else. And then you also missed opportunities that I'll just cover with timestamps, and you could have generated bigger leads. This won't be a full like hour session because honestly there wasn't that much. These are really impossible games. But another thing was also like symptoms of duo queue. So people duo queue, right? Like usually like one of the common things is they trust each other's calls too much, and they don't think about like whether or not it's right. Anyway, I just want to look at how you could have played the game and top lane fundamentally better, and how we could have spread our lead early, because you had a lead early game, because this guy didn't seem too confident on Lilia. Anyway, now that we caught back up, because I had to re-record this, what do you know about Lilia matchup? Because I'll be honest, I have no idea. Like,
So, yeah, so that matchup, Aatrox Lilia, Lilia's Q is slightly shorter range than my Q1. So if she doesn't have her move speed from the minion wave yet, like she hasn't used abilities on the minion wave, I can stop her and hit her when she comes in to hit me with Q1.
So you should be rarely third queuing, right? Because you need it for spacing, the Q1 and Q2.
Yep.
Okay,
So,
so that's something I wanted to bring up, right? You were Q3ing a lot. And I was like,
okay.
surely you should keep your Q1 and Q2 up more often. But yeah, that's fine, Yeah, that's just one little thing. But yeah, go on. Is there anything else? Is there any breakpoint where she's stronger than you? Because I'm not sure. I never see Lilia top. I think this might be the first one.
So if she hits 6, she has backed and bought like a blasting wand or something, let's say, not spent a lot of gold on mana.
Okay.
And I haven't bought health. I do have to be really careful because if she lands a sweet spot Q into R and I don't have flash, she gets sweet spot W Q and I die.
She one-shot.
That's
Holy shit. Okay, I didn't know
She
that.
can absolutely one-shot me if she has blasting wand,
Oh, good
and
to know. Good to know.
that's about the only situation I have to be really careful
It must be
for.
really hard to hit your sweet spots into a good Lilia, though, no? I guess she has to get stacks and shit like
Yeah,
this. Yeah.
it's all about keeping her off the minion wave. And if she gets on the minion wave, I really just have to respect that because if I'm pushed
Like,
up in lane, she hits the wave, I have to back off
like
because she
here,
can run me down.
she's just stacked up now, right? Yeah. I think.
You also aren't sharing your screen.
Oh, that is so brutal, dude. Let me. Oh. It's okay. It's okay. I've been recording my screen, so I don't have to re-record again. But I'll show you the screen now. There you go. Okay. So I was here, right, and I was just about to say, here, like, do you think, like, for 100% she could have just zoned you FXP, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, okay.
She definitely can here. But I can like kind of take the health trade here and get the XP if I have to.
That's what I thought. Okay, that's sure, that's fine then. I just wanted to know the limits because I feel like this was badly played by her as well. Like, I don't know, really bad. Anyway, there isn't much to talk about early. You played the early really well, and unfortunately you missed a sweet spot. It doesn't matter, but then like I want to show how like you could have maybe spread a lead better. And it's actually is it after the kill, I believe? So I'm gonna speed it up. And it was about conserving TP. This was unlucky, dude. I liked it.
If I hit that sweet spot, she dies.
Yeah. I like the attempt. Yeah, your jungler's coming topside, and then I believe like he just beeline top lane because he has no TP. That was unfortunate too.
Yeah.
But it was after this, and you see she has no TP, right? So.
Mm-hmm.
And so then alarm bells in my head if I'm you. I'm trying to desperately find a way to not have to TP back to lane, right? So I think one of the ways you could have done this was after you killed her, tried to trim the wave, hold a freeze, and then walk back to lane so that it'd just still be frozen by the time you get back. You know, it was finicky though because like the enemy top mid were around, so maybe they could have broken it. I'll show you the example, and then here your jungler plays it well. He's at the last. Yeah, nice. And then you can't
get her
this.
flash. Yeah.
And then it's here. We're here. This kind of situation is always awkward. Okay, not just because there's top mid here, but in general, people don't really know what to do here when they can't. Because like in your head, right, you gotta have a mental timer of how long it'll take for Lilia to get back to lane, right? And it's like 35 seconds to get back from base to top of mid. Sorry, top lane. And it's probably hard to focus on that when you've got all this happening and your jungler talking on Discord, right? But like, if you keep that in mind, then ideally what you do here is you like hold the freeze and recall, and then you only TP back if the enemy top mid break the freeze. But you know, then at least you've got a chance that the freeze is held, and you might be able to hold TP and TP bot or something to swing the bot lane, you know? Do you see what I mean? Like, if you like kill one of these minions,
Yeah. Yep.
and then just recall walk to lane, then it's held. But instead you do this, and you don't have time to push out the lane. And now you're gonna have to TP back to lane.
So, in my head,
Yeah.
there you have the commentary too there. But when I see the RE go on the jungler, at that point we've already chased the Nidalee for 10 seconds, and I'm thinking, okay, so Lilia's already 10 seconds closer to lane than normally if we
Do you
just
think she
killed
could
her.
get back in time to break the freeze before you get there?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was what I was thinking. So I was thinking I'm gonna get to a better item spike, and then I have to use my TP either way.
I guess. I wish we had the replay to see where Lilia was. Let's see the timer when she died. And then
I can pull it up in my client maybe if it's still there.
It's okay. Let's look at the timer, and then like we'll see how long before we like could have crashed the wave, right? So she dies here, 321, and I wish she pressed tab so I could see death timer. I wish I knew the death timers for each level. But
Death timers are on the right. She's already alive.
She's alive now. Okay. So that's been probably 5, 10. I think you could have done this. No.
You're probably right.
It's finicky. I'm just so desperate to keep my TP advantage, you know?
Yeah.
But it's not a big thing.
Big.
There are way bigger like opportunities to snowball. This is a really finicky one. Where I don't blame you for what you did at all. And then here, really nice combo, and yeah, she trolls, gets to 4 HP without flashing, which is crazy. I didn't think she had flash either because of it. Like, what? It's fine. And then, where is it? Okay, the next timestamp's at 8 minutes. Because, you know, nothing much happens. I mean, there is a couple things, but it's so, like, again, it's, like, so, minuscule, right? Like, you use your flash to, like, try and, burst it down. And it's just, like, it's just nothing else to say, right? Like, here, you kill her, that's fine. Fine, and you take a reset, and that's fine. Oh, you take a plate, sorry, because she has no TP, yeah. That's fine. You walk back to lane. And here. Was it here? No, it's not here. No, it's not here. Never mind.
If I angle that Q3 differently, she dies right away, but I catch her.
It's okay. Yeah. I don't want to go over this sort of thing. This is like, you know it, you know? Like, it's pointless. And then you push this out, and then she's just inting. And then you push this out because you have time. You need a reset. I guess you didn't think you needed a refill pot in general this game. Or maybe all the purchases were just not enough for refill, you know? But I feel like just getting a refill control is, like earlier, when you bought Ruby Crystal Longsword, I think refill control might have been better, but it's alright. It's small. And here, this was like the small thing. It was like flashing when, you know, I guess you just didn't expect the Ruby Crystal something. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. And then I think it's coming soon, 8:22. Yeah. So you know she probably has to reset, right? Or yeah, right. So what's the best play you can do in this scenario, given all the information we have on the map? This is a really big opportunity.
I could take topside jungle.
Oh, you could do. You could do.
Drake isn't coming up for, is that a couple minutes here?
So we see Ahri mid lane and walking down to bot, and Nidalee bot lane. Okay, so we are under no pressure. We can do anything to this Lilia. We could freeze. What's something else we could do, which is even bigger impact?
Don't know.
Okay, it's fine. Yeah, I think the best play you could do here is you just stand here and proxy, and you do not let Lilia pass, so she just can't do anything. You are under no threat. Ahri's here, Nidalee's here, and you take this wave ASAP, and then you just stand here. You'll have ulti too, so she can't walk past you, because she needs to stack up to get move speed to walk past you anyway.
Yep. Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And I think this was the biggest opportunity. That wasn't a mistake, because it's not a mistake what you did. It's just not as good, right?
Right.
And then there will be a mistake soon. And then here, because see, this is fine, right? Like you're taking crab, but it's just yeah. Now Lilia's getting XP because there becomes a break point where Lilia is actually stronger than you guys, which is crazy, right?
Well, that was from a failed gank eventually, but yeah.
But it's also because of how strong she was on that gank, right? And we'll see why exactly. And then I also think, do you think if like we saw Ahri wasn't roaming, we saw Nidalee bot lane, but Ahri we didn't have vision of, do you think you still could have proxied? I think you were strong enough, right?
If my R was definitely going to be up by the time both of them were there, yes. I thought it was a couple seconds still.
Yeah. I think so too. Yeah, you just factor all those things in, and then for sure. And then, unfortunate. It's hard to
if I don't go for that chain whip, she dies. If I just go for the auto, I had enhanced auto, so it would have reached.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's so hard to hit your sweet spots as well. This matchup does sound a bit weird, like, to be honest.
It is a little bit weird.
Yeah. Anyway, you used your ulti. You got no flash. Nothing. We will lose vision of everyone. And you guys will go for this play. Like, you see Ahri running into a river. And this is where I'm just like... This is just duo Q. Right? This is the start of the losing, sorry. There's so there is stuff you can do to predict a Soraka gank, right? Like, to play around a Soraka roam. And generally when you play against support roams, what you want to do is give them one wave of respect bot lane. Like, so you see another wave coming and you just wait until that wave comes. And then you make the play. But like it's too hard to play around support roams, so don't worry about it. It's more the Ahri and vision, the fact that you have no ulti and shit like this, you know?
Real quick, do you want to elaborate more on support roams? That was actually one of the things I just wrote down before we met that I want to cover more. So what do you mean by the one wave of respect? Like, if as soon as I see them off the map, I need to wait for a whole nother wave to be finished?
Generally, because then, you know, and then they've already missed a wave by the time they, like, you know, if they make a play by then. So they're missing something, you know? Because they'll be off the map, they'll be out of lane, not getting XP and stuff. So, like, generally, especially if you know they've gone on a reset, because what they can do is just leave the base and run straight to wherever they want to, you know?
Yep.
What they'll do is just run mid into like wherever they want. So you could just wait for one wave, which is 30 seconds, right? And then make the play. And generally they'll have given up and gone back to bot lane. It's not like completely foolproof. They might just stay, like, you know, and they might stay and go for a Herald or something, but it'll generally be more like successful. If you get me, it's a really hard topic because it's so hard to play around this, dude. Generally, what you want is like the Janna to match it, but you can't expect that. So, what I like to do is I just don't play around supports. If I get support ganked, support roamed on, it happens, right? But it was more about what you had and the Ahri going into vision. Fog topside.
Yeah.
It's so hard to play around support. Like, if you get ganked by a support topside, like, it just happens. Like, I don't expect you to be watching when the support recalls. That's impossible, you know? Like, I think that's really fucking hard to do anyway. Anyway, yeah, this is the, that was the first int, sort of, you know? And it was duo Q based, so it's like, always make a call yourself. I don't have flash, I don't have ulti. It's really hard to help. Anyway, here, this was really confusing to me because I look at this and I think instantly fundamental like TP windows and stuff, you know? I think you tunneled way too hard on the fact that Tristan had a huge bounty. I get it. And if you kill her, but that's a really big if, you know?
Yeah.
But like, so that's a really big if. It's really hard to do. And if you go for it, they like get loads, they create a huge gold difference anyway, right? Because they'll, like, in theory, this Lilia can just get plates or whatever if she sees you TP away, and you'll lose a huge slow push that's currently going in. So it's not a good TP window. In general, I want you to have a rule, where it's like, just play fundamentally top lane well, right? And in general, what that means for TPs and stuff is that you can leave lane around 14 minutes when plates fall, because you lose less, right? Of course. But also that, stop trying to do too much. It feels like you're trying to patch up a sinking ship everywhere at the sacrifice of yourself, you know? And what I mean by this is, like, I don't want you to force so hard. You could go back top, or even TP back top, slow push a wave, and then look for a roam or something, right? But don't, like, desperately try to... don't force, because in general in League, the harder you force, like the faster you'll lose, because like you'll just be sacrificing too much stuff on the top side, right? And if you just be patient, a better window will appear, right? But here, do you see how if you TP away now, you're fucked? And this is why Lilia got so strong for the gank that comes up soon. So yeah, just play fundamentally around TP window as well. I know there was a call here that she lost a leap, right? But it doesn't... There'll be future opportunities, you know? And now that you got an assist and Janna got a kill, I know it's hindsight I said Janna got a kill, but even if someone else got a kill, the overall
it's
goal...
still really bad.
Yeah. Because Lilia should be hitting top.
30 minions. Yep, she is now.
Yeah.
After she sees me down there.
I guarantee if we brought up the gold graph...
they just got 1,000+ gold.
Yeah.
Closer to us. Because I missed minions that Lily already collected, and then
And now you're helping Dragon. It's like you're doing too much, you know? Like...
Yeah.
You're trying to be like jungle V2.
Too early. Way too early.
Yeah. But yeah, this was probably the biggest mistake. The other one was an opportunity. This one's like just a mistake. And now I'll be honest, it's pretty hard. Because like in these games, when you're against a 7-0 Tristana, you just need to be as fast as possible.
And I gave up my window to keep my gold lead. Okay.
Exactly. And then let's keep watching. I think you say something later on that's relevant as well. But here, yeah, she has Rift Maker now. Like, you're even. Which is crazy after the early game, you know? I look so mental, this champion, actually.
Yeah, does she flash there?
Yeah. And then now it's doomed. I would say this is pretty... From this point on, this game is really hard. Like, I don't...
Yep.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the end of the VOD.
Yeah, there's a couple things. Like, so it's just mainly itemization, though. You said you want Tabite just for Trist. Dude, Tabite is not keeping you alive versus Kraken Slayer Trist. It's not happening, mate. Just go Merc Trist, and then avoid the Trist as much as you can. And, like, if you're gonna kill her, it's because you, like, layered CC and one-shot her, you know? I don't think you go Tabite just for her. On top of that, there's a point where you got, like, third Drake, and you start building towards your Abyssal Mask. I think if you see third Drake as Ocean Drake, you just fucking go for Spirit Visage, don't you think? Especially with a Janna? I think it
I haven't built Spirit Visage in over 100 games.
Yeah.
I build Abyssal Mask probably 1 in 5.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of explains it, but I think, like, when you're going for the MR item, I think the breakpoint for which one's more useful, I think with Ocean Soul and Janna, it's definitely Spirit Visage, I'm pretty sure. You could test it if you want to. If you ever have this niche situation again, even if it's just Ocean Soul, like, give it a go.
See, the reason why I never really factor that in is because if you already have Ocean Soul, you're already in an amazing spot. Like,
that's true, but then you're just unkillable now. I think it kind of guarantees the win.
Abyssal Mask gives almost twice as much MR as Spirit Visage. It literally, I think it gives like 65 compared to 40.
Okay. I mean, if you don't think so, that's fine. That's fine. I'd have to do the maths on it. You know, like how much the healing amp is, and like the overall, and like how much damage you're negating. I think it's. I'm not too sure. This was just more of a theory thing, right? Like, so I was wondering what you'd think about it. But if you want to go for some mask, it's fine. I just say consider it. Maybe give it a go in one game. See how it feels. But yeah, anyway, that's the end of the VOD. Now it's just Fiesta. What's going to happen is just you run around, get a bunch of bounties, and the game's over anyway. And also, your duo queue just kind of just ints. I don't know what happens.
Yeah.
Happens. I can't do a queue.
I missed that wall.
I really can't do a queue unless I know the guy's like insane, right? Like, because if they just in, I'm just like, dude, come on. Because I think he just like it's really like tragic. Where is it? Here. The game's over.
Yeah.
Happens. All good. And that's why duo queuing is risky, because of too much trust, and yeah. I'm pretty sure, is this still in the matchmaking, that the games are harder if you duo queue? I'm not sure.
I think you're right, yeah. It has MMR inflation.
Yeah, that's
so
what I
it pairs
thought.
you and your your duo Q as slightly higher than it normally thinks you are.
Yeah, that's what I thought potentially. Anyway,
Um,
go on.
yeah, I was gonna say like I played against that Lilia player 3 times that night, and we were duo queuing. And
Okay.
they're a Kled OTP. They're a Kled OTP, and I stomped their Kled. And then the next time they go Lilia versus me, and that was the game they won. And then again they go Lilia, and I carried the early game way harder that time.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't make the mistake of letting her get gold actually in that game. So.
All good. Anyway, Gara and Vod. This game was just AIDS. Like I'm through.
This one I cut it short because the
I
game
could
was
tell.
actually just over at this point.
Yeah. So it's like things that we could like optimize, right? And that's all I can go through. It's like, how do you set up this gank a bit better? Maybe it kind of turns it, right? Because like I'm just desperately trying to find solutions for this awful play this Rek'Sai made.
Yep. This Rek'Sai is in Champ Select for some background.
Okay.
And filled support, and they're choo
no.
and promos masters, and they're like, please, can I jungle? And they have like a crazy win rate on Rek'Sai. They have like a 60-something% win rate on Rek'Sai. And then as soon as the game starts, I say we need to be careful about Garen because he has Ghost Ignite. If he gets a lead, he can run me down.
Yeah.
And he said, don't worry, unlosable, I'm jungle. And so I think he was thinking he was gonna come like up and like make a hero play. And I should have just pinged danger. Instead I pinged my Q cooldown, and by the time I've already done that, he's already flashed on top of the Garen.
Yeah, I get it. Anyway, here. In the gank setup, I think the biggest thing you could have improved was your so the first of all is like the third queuing, right? I think you third queue way too much. I think it's so easy for him to dodge, right?
Yeah.
I think for sure. Anyway, the biggest thing you could have improved was the W usage, right? The easiest way, the only way when he has Ghost Ignite, the only way he can get out of the W pullback is with Q and with Ghost, right? And like if you use the W earlier, I think there was a world he would have been pulled back. So maybe that changes everything. Because he'd already used Q, you know?
Yeah.
It's here. But it's such a small window, but at least you see it. Where is it exactly? I need to see the timestamp. 120. You see how Rek'Sai, so you got to keep really big eyes on like Rek'Sai and how long you can keep Garen occupied for. It's just here. If you W here, I think maybe. I mean, it's kind of like this. Maybe he just walks to the side, right?
Yeah, if I'm this close when I W, I can't line up a sweet spot Q without dashing back.
Then I don't think
really
there's anything.
bad.
I don't think there's anything you could have done.
Okay.
Because one theory I had was that maybe because for some reason, like in my head, Ghost still ramped up. Maybe if you W'd earlier, the Ghost would ramp up, and then he wouldn't be able to get out. But it doesn't ramp up anymore. It just insta speeds them up. So there's nothing you can do. I'm pretty sure this is just one of those things, right? Yeah. And then this happens.
And then here I'm so tilted I miss every single thing, and then tried to. I thought my one way of surviving this was if the Garen got stunned by the Echo thing, and I was on the other side of that from the Graves.
Yeah, I mean,
that was the one hope I had.
You just got
so I went for it.
And this is just reality of some games, right? Now there's stuff to that we can do a bit better. It's like just knowing that Garen's first back is usually boots 2, so spacing becomes 10 times harder, and you've got to respect that, right? So here, I mean, you always want to tab to see what they bought, right? Because I noticed you didn't do that. And then where is it? 237. Yeah, it'll come back to lane with boots 2, and you just never hit any sweet spots anymore. And because of the boots 2, you've got to keep even further distance, right? Because the amount of ground you can cover with Q and the boots 2 is insane. And remember what I talked about when I was streaming and you gave me that VOD, and I was talking about relative value of HP?
Yeah.
Yep. Rek'Sai, bot lane. You've been fucked. You got no flash, nothing.
Yeah.
Relative value of HP. So, like, in theory, what we do is we take only winning trades, but that's really fucking hard.
And extremely winning trades. It has to be so winning
that
it makes it impossible for them to dive.
Yeah, yep. So in general, also this feeds into the fundamental that you shouldn't be like heavy trading on slow pushes. So you should have into account that the spacing matters, and in that regard, you just sit back, collect the wave when it pushes into you. You know,
I
it's
have to
so
hit this Q1, otherwise it's not worth being
yeah.
where I am.
But I think that's
And,
almost impossible.
yeah,
I really do because of the boots too.
I do get them extremely low, just not quite enough.
And I think you made the right decision to stay.
I'm like, I'm
You'll
going to
be out of the
die. I
game.
need XP though, is
Yeah,
what I was thinking.
yeah, you'll be out of the game if you don't do this. It's fine. You'd probably be out of the game anyway, but it's fine. And then the last thing I can even talk about is... But the problem is, right, I'm saying this stuff, but I think you're tilted. So maybe you know this stuff already, so just tell me, right? But here is just, again, spacing, target selection, right? Who's going to tank, so CC them. And I just think, like, what's the fucking point in hitting these Qs on trying to hit this guy with Qs? I just think it's nearly impossible, no?
Yeah.
It's very likely that the range champion is going to start the dive, because the range champion can get in and out of tower aggro really easily. That's usually what happens. So generally you're going to want to try and CC the Graves. On top of that, like, avoiding dives versus Graves is you just want to stick behind your tower as much as you can, you know? Because his ulti
Does
get
the
blocked.
tower block?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Didn't
Yeah.
know that. That's good to know.
No worries, no worries. But yeah, all those things combined, and then like we try to hit the boots to Garen, and that is the last thing I could optimize. Now it's doomed.
Yeah.
Now it's very doomed. So like key things are like spacing. I think the biggest thing was spacing based on items. That's it. That's all I can review. Genuinely. So I won't use this as like one of your full times. I'll just use like half or whatever, you know. Because yeah, I'll be honest, there wasn't much. But just to summarize, right? So I bring this on the screen from the notes. Trying to conserve TP advantage. I think this one was probably not that doable. It was just kind of a hope and pray thing, and then you probably have to TP top anyway.
But it's something I can think about in the future.
Yeah, for sure. Then this one was a big one. I don't think you saw this opportunity.
I didn't.
Yeah. So, you know, proxying when you have no threat, or when you can handle the threat, it's just broken, and they get very frustrated. Not completely trusting your teammates, letting yourself, you know, make the decisions for your teammates as well. And then, overall team gold of the size of slow push and the plates that Lilia gets if she stays, right? Playing around fundamentals of top lane, which is like TPing on like good wave states and good windows. Rather than trying to do too much, which is a really big thing when you're tilted usually, but you weren't tilted, it's just a thing as well. And then the opportunities will come themselves, you know? And then the swinging gold meant you couldn't get the thingy. You couldn't translate your lead. And then this was, I really think Mercs was better. I don't think Tabai do anything. And then versus the Garen one, this wasn't possible. I thought maybe you could W, but then I saw the W when we rewatched it again, and it would just be angled in a way he could just run out. And then spacing, tabbing to see the purchase. Garen, generally, you should know that he bites boots 2 first, and then he could just run at you like an ape. Yeah, understanding how much gap close, and then relative HP whilst your Rek'Sai's doing dragon or whatever, and then collecting, not hard trading on slow pushes, and just collecting the wave. And then how to survive dives versus Graves, as well as target selection in a dive. Who's likely to start the dive, and who to CC in that regard, you know? I think those are the main points. Is there anything you want to talk
about? Yeah, let me just send... This is the list I wrote up just before we met. I'm gonna just send it over Discord.
Sure thing. I think I'll end the recording here, though.
Okay.
No worries.